Welcome back, guys. We're back today with a Lüshun video. This is a sure I am very glad I got from this event. Not many people got it from this event, so I can for sure say that yeah, I'm just very lucky that I got it from this event. Very, very lucky. So here we have Lüshun, Tier 10 Pan-Asian Premium Destroyer. It is not Taiwanese. It is, in fact, mainland Chinese. It is not Taiwanese. Yeah, so Lüshun, as you can see, I played already a lot of battles in Lüshun. I have almost 400k XP in it. Thought I would give my thoughts on the Destroyer. Because, you know, people just want to know, is the Lüshun worth getting? Well, when it eventually releases, is it worth getting? Lüshun, to say the least, is a very intriguing destroyer. It's a very intricate playstyle that, while you see it in some of the destroyers, you don't see it in a lot of other destroyers, if any. It has a very specific gimmick to what it's, how it's doing things. So, in terms of HP, it's about average. It's not really insane. We're not talking about any druid elbing situation here. Not even Ragnar. You about have like 5k less HP than the druid does. But we'll get to the healing and the health situation later. The agility. One of the key weaknesses of Lüshun is actually the agility. The turning is fine. The acceleration and the speed is kind of a problem. It's not the slowest tier 10 destroyer, but it's by no means fast. And unlike Ragnar, we'll get to discuss later, but unlike Ragnar, you lack emergency speed boost, which kind of limits your ability to get away from situation. So if you're kind of forced to stay on the flank you're on for a good amount of the game. You can't really reposition like a faster destroyer could. Your acceleration is, to put it lightly, it's not the greatest considering your max speed. There are slower DDs like Vampire and Daring who have like vastly better acceleration compared to the relative speed. So you are not the most agile destroyer. You can kind of dodge Via's turning, but like, yeah, this is not what I'd consider a maneuverable destroyer by any means. It's also, as you can see, a very, very big destroyer, which kind of makes it hard to dodge things. It also means you eat tons of full pens in the ship if you're not careful. Yeah, you do have to watch that when you're playing the ship. AP bombs eat you alive. They hit you, and I've been full pinned by incomp, so it's not fun if you get hit in this ship. Guns. The bread and the butter of this destroyer is the guns. 4 130mm guns. They shoot very, very quickly at just under 2 seconds. It's not the fastest fire rate tier 10, but it is one of the fastest. And these have excellent, and I mean absolutely excellent shell ballistics. They're very flat arcs, very fast arcs. They're basically just Grozovoi guns on this ship. In terms of the shell ballistics, while they are Grozovoi guns, they are heavily nerfed Grozovoi guns in terms of the actual shell damage. You have, to put it lightly, probably the single worst HE alpha of all, well, probably ships in the game at tier 10. One of the lowest. 320 HE, and that's gonna half pen for barely over 150 if you're hitting anything that has no armor. Yeah, that's kind of low alpha. You're hitting not much alpha, and you look at other destroyers like Ragnar, which have 4 guns. I mean, Ragnar has 150s, of course, but even stuff like Småland has more alpha strike than you do, so it's kind of annoying. Your HE DPM is actually a lot lower than other destroyers simply because you just don't have shell alpha in comparison. You have like about 50 to 60 less HE alpha than some of these 4-gun destroyers. Even Druid has better HE alpha, and Druid is by no means an HE ship. What you do have is you do have a really good range. Well, not really good. You have good range. If I had the special camo, which gives 4% range, which is what I would take, you would have almost just a little under 10 kilometer gun range. So you have pretty good range to gunboat in, which you're gonna need it because you need to be dodging this ship. You need to be dodging. With this build, you have a 4.28% fire chance. So while your HE alpha is pretty doo-doo water, your fire chance is actually not that bad. 4.28%. It's not the best of this tier. Stuff like, again, Ragnar. I mean, this is your competition for no smoke long range gunboat destroyers with HE. Ragnar has 7% fire chance, an even crazier range. But this ship does have other things Ragnar doesn't, which we'll get to later. The AP alpha. It is nerfed from Grozlord, but it's nowhere near as nerfed as heavily as the HE. So you still have pretty good AP. It does Citadel. It has pretty good pen, I'd say. And the DPM on the AP, the HE alpha DPM is kind of okay. The AP DPM is pretty nutty. You have some substantially good AP DPM. Yeah, the only thing is you actually have better alpha strike than the Druid. Now Druid actually has better DPM. Well, Druid has similar DPM because Druid has reloads better, but you do make up for your low HE alpha by having pretty good AP DPM. The AP alpha is alright, but the AP DPM is where it's at. So yeah, the guns, they're pretty good. They're not as crazy as some of these other gunboats. Not a Friesland. You're not turning into a Ragnar, but the guns do function pretty good. The torps. This is usually the bread and butter of a Pan-Asian cruiser or destroyer. On this ship, they're kind of nerfed deep water torps, because while they are deep waters, they have a decent reload for deep water standards too. The alpha and the range, the speed, and the flood chance is just not really there. You have decent alpha for normal torp standards. You have 10 of those. So you have about, 40k alpha before torp damage reduction, which is not bad. But, like, gearing has better torp alpha despite not having deep waters, so it's kind of a yikes. Your torp range is not bad, 9.36. You have a pretty good torp window. Torp firing window before being detected, so it's not that bad either. But it's not as good as Yu Yang, which has almost 10 kilometers, or Jinan, which has over 10.5. What did Jinan say? Yeah, either way. Your torp speed compared to Yu Yang is crippled. I mean, you have, without this camo, you have 63 knots of speed. Yeah, it's not the greatest torp speed for deep water standards. Your flood chance is, again, it's not bad for normal torp standards, but it's not the 30% plus of the Jinan and the Yu Yang. Again, you have basically just what it basically has, the Lüshun, is that it basically has glorified gearing torps if it didn't have Legron. The only thing that makes these different from gearing's torps is the deep waters, which means that they have a little bit better stealth, which they're going to get spotted a little later. That's about the difference between this and gearing torps, stock gearing torps. I mean, having gearing torps on a ship is by no means bad. I mean, well, they're just slightly nerfed gearing torps, but having gearing torps on a ship is by no means a horrible thing. They're still gonna give. This is what makes it kind of different from some of these other 4-gun destroyers. They actually have other weapons to your. You have access to other weapons. Ragnar is amazing 150mm guns, but Ragnar has basically no torps. So in a situation where you are being YOLO'd across the island, Ragnar is pretty done for if it's a cruiser or battleship, because you kind of have no DPM to your name. In terms, well, not DPM, but immediate alpha strike. Your AA it's dual-purpose guns, but the AA is basically not there. Just ignore your AA. Concealment, you have decent concealment. If I can even say it, it's decent. You outspot Z52, which is a pretty big win for this ship. So that is a pretty nice bonus, I should say. You outspot Grozvoy, you outspot the bigger destroyers like Regolo, Marceau. You actually saw outspot Druid, which is nice. You outspot Ragnar, you outspot a lot of the bigger destroyers. Delny, which you don't outspot, which is kind of annoying, but you don't outspot the Daring. You definitely don't outspot Vampire, Somers, Gearing. Actually, even Yu Yang outspots you. So, yeah. You can outspot the bigger destroyers, but unlike Vampire, you don't have the ability to outspot every destroyer. Which is kind of one of the ship's weaknesses, is that if you face a good Vampire or a good Daring player, they're just going to keep you, like, just spotted permanently. There's not much you can really do about it. Unless they're pushing into you and you're... Well, you'll see in the gameplay what I mean by this. But unless you're pushing into them, which then you can catch them lacking. In the armory, I'm blabbering on for too long. In the armory, one of the ship's skills, you have 2 engine boost level 1, 3 engine boost level 2, and 3 DFAA level 2. Forget the DFA, that doesn't exist. The DFA is kind of just there if you want to send one plane back before it gets to you. The Hydro, this is a key and critical skill of the ship. This is basically what allows it to play in the DD meta right now, at least on NA. If it didn't have this skill, it'd be pretty trash, the ship. But, this is a pretty critical skill to the ship, because what this allows you to do is that it allows you to push other DDs and use your crazy DPM, AP DPM, and just have such a good advantage. Like, you out DPM Daring and AP, so you like, even without, we'll get to the healing gimmicks, even without the healing gimmicks, you're still gonna win the gunfight if it's a pure DPM fight, because you simply just out DPM it. 2 speed was level 1, while you're not the slowest destroyer out there, you don't have the Daring problem where you're permanently slow the whole game. For a majority of the game, you have the Daring problem. 2 speed boost level 1, unless you have a Night Raid commander on this, that's not really, you have to conserve these speed boosts pretty much to make really use of them. You have to either use them really early so you can get into position, but that's really what they're for. They're really to get in position and out of position. Not really, you can't really just spam them, you know? You can't really just spam them, because you only have 2. Obviously, you have Deep Waters. You have St. Vincent's Super Heals. This is the main gimmick of the ship. This is the whole playstyle of the ship. A smokeless gunboat destroyer that has incredible healing potential. I've done the numbers. You do not out-heal Druid in any sense of the word. But you can out-heal a lot of the smaller destroyers, and you can heal up to a lot of the bigger destroyers, like Ragnar, Elbing. You definitely out-heal Regolo. You can out-heal a lot of these destroyers. Which is really, really, really needed, because there will be times where you will be very low on HP, or half HP, and you're losing a gunfight, and you need to be able to win the gunfight. And this is where the heal comes in. So it's a very, very nice heal you'll see in the gameplay. Very, very useful. Very, very useful. The extra heal is to combat the fact that you have the super heals usually are really good, but they usually make you take away 1 heal. This is kind of just to combat this. So don't really, it says 4, you're not taking 4 repair kits, you're just taking 3. I don't think they planned for super heals when they were making this. So it says 4 heals. You don't have 4 heals, you have 3 heals. This is to combat the fact that you only get 2 with that. The build, I am running historical camo on this ship. It gives torp range, torp speed, max reverse speed, concealment. This alternative camo, the war paint camo, should be an image of it right now. The war paint camo is what you want. It gives gun range and ship HP in return compared to torp speed and torp range. Guns are everything about the ship. I would trade it in a heartbeat. The HP bonus is even better. It's just a straight up bonus to your HP, which makes your healing more effective. Torps are nice, but you want to build into guns. This equipment, this is standard destroyer equipment. Reload mod, because, well, there's nothing really. You have 3rd degree turret traverse. You don't need turret traverse. Propulsion, there really is no other way besides propulsion. Your acceleration is horrendous without acceleration mod. You need to run it's mandatory. And just like acceleration mod, concealment is mandatory, because without this, you got spotted by some of the bigger gunboat destroyers. So you need concealment. It is mandatory. There's really no way around it. The commander build, I am running Liu Bei, that's what I'm calling Liu Bei. There really isn't a dedicated commander made for Lüshun, a legendary commander, so, you know, if you have a normal commander, he'll work, because honestly, these are just bonus skills, but there is one skill that's very useful, but they're all really just bonus skills. Don't take the first skill like I did. I would take this. I just kind of took this by accident. Take emergency response over underwater protection expert if you plan to use this exclusively for the Lüshun. Torpedo alert plus, you don't need a 4th Hydra on this ship, and you definitely don't need another DFA. 3 Hydras, especially at level 2s, are more than enough for this ship. So, Torpedo Alert Plus is also just more useful because when you don't have the Hydro, you want to have, as a deep water destroyer, as a destroyer with deep water torch, I should say, you want to have every advantage in a destroyer gunfight, because if you don't have Hydro and you go dueling it out with other destroyers, you need to know when the torps are coming. Artillery Maintenance Expert Plus. If this wasn't a legendary commander, I would probably take Preheating or High Alert, but because it's a legendary commander and a 4% dispersion buff, it's kind of just nice. I'm taking it, but you could easily take the other two skills. Don't take DFA because that is useless on a ship that has horrendous AA. You just take Victorious Charge. Just get a little more HP. It eventually adds up to your healing. You could take Kraken skill if you really wanted to beam around the ship, but that's if you get a lot of Krakens, fair enough. This is an important skill, especially a legendary skill. It buffs the healing Survivalist Plus. If you have any legendary commander that buffs healing, you take this for the ship. Even without it, you take it, but this is a huge skill. This turns your heals into insane levels of healing. You want this commander, or any commander with healing, because it makes the ship hilarious to play and watches you heal. Yes, this is a skill I take. Recon and Surveillance. Highly recommended skill. You have a Hydro, you take the Hydro. There's just, and this applies to every ship in the game. If you have the Hydro skill, you're taking the Hydro. Or, that's backwards. If you have a Hydro, you take the Hydro skill. There's just no conversation. Debate ended. Don't take anything else. There's no purpose. Fully prepared. Nothing else makes sense. So you just kind of take fully prepared. AR. I'm not taking Extinguisher because that's useless on useless, and especially on destroyers. And you don't have smoke, so there's no point in building into smoke. So you just take AR. AR does allow you to kind of play dangerous with your heals. You can play it very low and then instantly heal. It's very nice having AR. I only have this commander up to level 9, as you can see, so I'm still grinding it out, but we do have Engine Overload, even though you only have 2. Then Expert doesn't really do much for you. You don't really break modules often, and it's only 10%, so yeah, it's not really anything crazy. So you just gotta take this because you want to just extend the duration of the speed boost. At level 10, you take Honor Seeker. This is gonna do nothing for a destroyer. You don't have Master Reloader, or you don't have Rapid Reload, so you just take this. Simple. It is an HE spammer against battleships. It is an HE spammer. It does have Grosswood guns. The pen is good. On the AP. The IFHE, worthless on the ship. Don't never take IFHE on the ship. Never even consider it. Always take APCS. APCS is very critical of the ship because you want to have every AP shell full pen and destroyer in 1v1. There will be very much a lot of games where you'll be taking DD 1v1s early and you need to win the 1v1 in order to survive the flank. Highly, highly, highly recommend getting yourself an APCS commander. And finally, you don't take this because you're a destroyer. You take Giant Hunter because you want to buff the torp damage. So that is my Lüshun build. It is a very, very fun ship. I will get into the gameplay right after this. Yeah, I'm talking for a while now. Yeah, Lüshun. Highly recommend this ship. Oh yeah, the elite bonus, my bad. The elite bonus before it finish. Take advantage show. The torps don't matter, so just take this instead. Yeah, that's about as simple as it gets. Lüshun though, that's my build. I will get to the gameplay next. This has gone on for way too long, but yeah, that is my Lüshun build. Let's get to the gameplay. And here we are with the gameplay. No beginning screen. Yeah, I forgot to start recording earlier. But we have the 3 DD, the 4 DDs on our team. 4 Gs, the 4 DD. Yes, this is NA matchmaking at its finest. 4 DDs on our team, 3 on their team. I'm doing something I usually don't do in destroyers on this flank, which is going to be pushing central, but because I'm not really going to be fast enough to relocate, I'm deciding, okay, I'm going to push centrally, cut to the DDs. That's exactly what I do. These 2 DDs, well, this daring is hydroing. Yeah, this gearing ain't going to live long. Spoiler alert, this guy's not going to have a good day. But the daring is now entering my hydrogen. I'm playing super aggressively, being like, why are you playing aggressively? Why are you playing aggressively? Well, I've done 8k damage to daring, and he's dead. He's just gone. spotting torps from my team, and now we're gonna start obliterating. With our the Somers makes a mistake not turning out. He should have turned out ages ago. He's just gonna get obliterated. We're chunking for what, 2k every 1.9 seconds? Yeah, it's just not fun. The DPM of the ship on the AP DPM is nutty. You obliterate destroyers, so here I'm just going, okay, I'm just gonna hunt this destroyer. Kill this guy has to die. I gotta get rid of the destroyers. These two DDs will outspot me, so I have to kill them. I do not want to get outspotted late game. And also killing DDs just prevents them from fading caps. This guy is so low. But luckily I'm able to lob this island, and after failing to aim for multiple salvos, he eventually dies to me. Des Moines is not a cruiser I want to be dealing with in this ship. Not open water at least, and not at this range. You do not have the agility or smoke to deal with the Des Moines comfortably at this range. So I'm just going to slow down. No need to overextend myself. I'm just going to chill on this rock. I'm just going to chill on this rock. That guy's lagging. Also, I apologize for no sound. I forgot to record sound. But yeah, he's turning out. So now that he's turning out, I'm using my concealment, watching my concealment circle this time. I'm watching these two battleships. This is free farming. I've already got 2 kills. I've already basically, the game's already over basically. Well, it's not over, but it may as well be. They've lost every destroyer. They have a no spotting. So I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna send torps. I'm not shooting yet. I want to set a flood first. If I can set a flood first, I can set triple fire later, and that's what's gonna give me damage. It is still Pan-Asian, so you still do have to like rely a bit on your flood and fires. I get a flood in Montana, and the Colombo actually slowed down, so I'm actually gonna get torp hits on him and get a flood. So we get 2 floods on each 10 torp hits. This other Montana is just coming full speed. He has 0 remorse for his life. After seeing 2 of his VPs basically just lose tons of HP to torps. So I'm just gonna start turning in so I can start opening fire on this Montana. So using this, yeah, you see the HE alpha is pretty horrendous, but you know what, the fire chance will come later. I'm trying to set fires on Montana so I can then set a flood on the other Montana in front of me. I'm looking at Colombo this whole time, slowing down my ship. I'm looking at Colombo this whole time, just, yeah, you see shooting sap. That's why I'm no scoping actually. I do not want to get tunnel visioned against this Montana and get nuked by Colombo. I don't have smoke, and I don't really have great agility to be playing dangerous against Colombo open water. So I kind of had to be careful here. I get a fire on Montana, so I just start ignoring him, start shooting into the Colombo, because I know he's damage controlled, so I'm trying to get damage on him. I'm just farming with these torps. It may not be the craziest. I'm actually making a very dangerous move here. Would not recommend doing this if the Colombo had all the 16 guns. But we're going to heal back so much HP. I think this is the only tendency of us using our heals, actually. Might use later on, but we don't really use it after he misses again. And we're just gonna start farming, which is long range gunboating. These amazing guns. I haven't really gotten good fire chance, but honestly, we just have to keep pressure up. He's shooting at me. I'm turning in already. I'm already pre-turning, ready for a shot. This is pretty much how to play Lüshun. Kill the DDs first, and then go farm the battleships. If you're open water farming like me without dealing with the cruisers, you kind of just have to be wary of what you're doing. Colombo shoots, basically misses again. Guy's mad at this point. He's just missing. I'm just actively dodging. This is a ship that you have to be very wary of what you're doing, because there'll be times where you have games like this where you kind of force open water gunfight, Colombos, and you just have to be super wary. And he's still missing, still dodging back and forth. Should have led these torps a little bit. I actually got a fire in the one. Should have led these torps a little further. Would have got a little. I probably would have got a little more damage this game. Probably about 10k more. But you can see the DPM going crazy. He's dead though. So yeah. One thing to know about Lüshun, you do have 360 turrets. You're gonna be seeing here 360 turrets. It is very nice having 360 turrets. I'm just gonna kind of DPM Des Moines at this point. I'm not gonna get to the battleship up there, but you can see when I'm trying to farming damage, I'm trying to like move my ship closer to the enemy while I'm farming, because this guy's gonna die very soon, right? I'm getting killed by GK. So I'm just trying to get to my other set of damage quickly, but he's gonna die. So yeah, and Montana left. He's gonna die. So. Yeah, this is the Lüshun game I'll show. 124k, 2 kills. Pretty good game of Lüshun. I think there was a bot, but we didn't really touch the bot. So, that's nice. This is a very, very fun destroyer, to say the least. As you can see there, we didn't really deal with the cruiser, but if you can, try to avoid the heavy cruisers at closer ranges, because you can't really deal with them easily without islands, at least. So kill the GDs first. Play super aggro against some of those smaller GDs because they just simply can't out heal or out DPM you. So definitely would recommend doing that. You do those two things, then you farm the battleships. You could farm the battleships first if the DDs aren't on your flank. But if you've had the DDs on your flank, you may as well just go farm them, right? You may as well just go kill them first. Get rid of the outspotting problem. I hope you enjoy this more overviewish, reviewish format for Lüshun. I'm really trying to incorporate this. What's it called? I'm gonna try to incorporate this as a more reviewish video because I feel like this is a ship a lot of people want to know about. That you just don't. You see kind of a little bit, but this ship I think a lot of people have mixed feelings about. They just don't know how to play it. So I hope that kind of assisted with how you should be playing Lüshun and how you should be building Lüshun as well with the earlier tangent of the video. There will probably there will be a meme video of the Lüshun whenever I get around to recording it or editing, I should say. And yeah, that's Lüshun, Pan-Asian Premium Tier 10 Destroyer. Where would I rate Lüshun? It's not as good as Daring or Vampire when played to the max. It's not as good as Smolensk. I think Smolensk is still a more effective destroyer. So, yeah. That's the Lüshun video. Hope you enjoyed it. See you guys later.